Hi Capricorn, welcome to your March 2020 horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, let's have a look, see what the month ahead has in store for you. But before we do that, you may have noticed that something is different yet again. You guys know me, I like to keep things fresh, I like to keep things moving, and I really am driving towards the formulas that I feel are probably most relevant for my subscribership from here on in. So these are the changes that are coming in, and with that said, you have full moon and new moon astrology from here on in, right? So hopefully you love it. Hopefully you you get something out of it. So let's just jump straight in. The first thing that I want to talk about here is your full moon in Virgo. Full moon in Virgo on the 9th of March is taking place for you, Capricorn, in your 9th house. I've got my trusty notes here, so if you see me reading, that's what I'm doing. So really, this is going to be a look at your belief structure, your belief systems, what your higher ideals are, what your personal philosophies are, and how they either enhance your life or how they might have held you back in some way, shape or form. Now remember, a full moon is a completion, it's a culmination, and this is where we get a peak experience or some sort of payout from work or energy that we've already expended at a later date, usually around the new moon in Virgo. So what were you doing around that time last year, and what is it that you might be seeing results from now? So you're going through the process under this full moon in some sense of purging, but this could literally be from within, about your personal belief systems. This might come into something that you've believed about a person, about a group of people. It may be some of the stuff of your early childhood that has influenced your belief structures and the thoughts and feelings that you have around those things. And you could really be having this highlighted for you. And this could be a moon that shows you how to live and let live, and accept that you might never understand certain people, which I think is a really beautiful energy, because when you can just allow others to be and you can allow yourself to be as well, it puts you in a state of true co-creation of your destiny, because you understand that nothing that you do is tied to anybody else, not in a spiritual sense anyway. I mean, we're all tied to other people, we're all tied to each other in some way, but this is to kind of get around this concept of, look what you made me do, or I did that because of. Do you know what I mean? It's about taking responsibility and just saying, look, you know what, I might never understand you, I might never see eye to eye with you, I might never even be able to forgive you, but I can allow you to be who you are, and I can allow you to be in my life in some way, shape or form. It could suggest as well that something to do with the overseas, with foreign travel or culture could come up for you in some way, shape or form, or just people that are, at a distance from you. Now, the moon rules all of your feelings and your fortune and what you eat and all of that sort of stuff, but it can also be the bonds, right? The bonds that we have with other people. Do you have family across seas? And if you do, you could be hearing from them in some way, shape or form this month. Or certainly off the back of this full moon anyway. So there is a stressful angle between this moon and your 5th house, and this could see you asking yourself how you might be paying for a trip. So if there's some sort of trip or journey that needs to come up, some sort of travel that is coming up for you, or some sort of long distance, long haul travel that's coming up, it could see you not necessarily worried about finances, but asking yourself, okay, how am I going to finance this? How am I going to, how is financing this thing or this longer term sort of goal or philosophy philosophy. How is it going to affect me in the here and now? Now, don't forget, in the 9th house, you also find your higher education, further education, you know, gaining sort of knowledge, wisdom and skills. So all of these things could be highlighted for you over this time. It might be that somebody gifts you some form of travel, and it could be that something comes up in regards to your children if you have them, and maybe they're traveling, or maybe you're sending them away for something, or looking at their schooling. Definitely possible. Maybe your child decides that they want to do something different for their profession. Maybe your child decides they don't want to go to that college, they want to go to a different one, or, you know, it could be any of those things, and it might bring up some tension. The problem that you're going to face with this is you may have to accept that you're going to have to relinquish your grip. And usually I will say this just because I've seen it not only in my personal, I mean, I don't have children, but I've seen this in family members. I've seen it often. When you clamp down on your children and try to force them to do what you want them to do, the chances are they will rebel, and you will undo any good work that you've done. Even if it's over the course of 10, 15 years, you'll undo that very, very quickly. It's better to open up a dialogue and find a way to assist. The moon trine your first house, trining Mars in your first house, could see you very proactive and assertive about your beliefs, and having to deal with foreign persons or parties, and maybe even the law in some respect. So, you know, because obviously the 9th house is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is those things like, you know, law, higher wisdom, you know, philosophy, thought, all of that sort of stuff. It's certainly possible, but as it is a trine, it is there in your favor. So if you have anything come up in this respect, it will finish and it will come through for you. You'll be in a good place to move ahead with this. You know, it will complete in your favor. The moon trine Jupiter is an aspect of yourself connected to the overseas matters or persons. Looks like it's changing your outlook, but there's room for growth and understanding to be forged there. You know, I don't know, whatever you've got going on with overseas, or, you know, very different parties to yourself, maybe something to do with your studies, but your mind, your understanding of things being different, of people being different, that's really starting to settle with you now. And what it's giving you is this understanding that, okay, you know what, I might not necessarily get you, but there's opportunities for me to grow here by my interaction with you, which is is a gorgeous energy, really. Trine to Pluto, some deep aspect of your understanding of the world is really being examined. Magical moments of light bulb moments could be happening at this time, which is lovely, right? So, and then you've got Venus and Uranus, which are conjunct at, I'm not sure at the degree actually, but I think it's 4, in your 5th house, but these are square to Saturn, which is in your 1st house. Now, Venus is strong in Uranus, the Venus is strong in Taurus, but she's also conjunct Uranus, so she's kind of not as strong there. But then Saturn is your ruler and is in, you know, his own sign, so he's very strong there. So you could see this kind of a bit of a power, not a power struggle, but because it's a square, it could be an uncomfortable energy that means you might have to set boundaries with your children. It might mean that, you know, yeah, I've put here, try not to be harsh with your children, because you could be seen as oppressive or fearsome figure rather than somebody that, you know, and this is the thing as well, how we show up in other people's lives, we're not in control of that. We're in control of ourselves and the decisions that we make and the boundaries that we set. How we do that and how we're viewed by the person on the receiving end of that stuff, i.e. your children, because this is a lot to do with your 1st house and your 5th house. So this is you and your children, you and the things that you've created, you and the things that you've been working on making or creating in some respect, right? Maybe even a project that you've been working on. How you treat people and how they receive that, how they then view you, is the lens through which they look, and you have no control over that. So how you present yourself, your information or your choices is very, very important. Can't stress this enough. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, we've got the new moon in Aries, which is on the 23rd of March, right? So new moon, time for beginnings, time for starting things, time for planting seeds, or maybe even welcoming new things into our lives. Now, remember, with all astrology, It's very rarely an event. It's usually a process or an energy that unfolds over time. This is taking place in your 4th house, right? Capricorn, this is all to do with the home. It's all to do with the family, with the environment that your family lives in. It could be some change to your actual home, you know, and the question to ask yourself here as well is, if you could change something about your home, what would it be? Because you've got this new moon, you might be able to start setting some of this stuff in motion now, or at least laying the foundations that you could later build on in some way. You're getting a chance to throw open the doors and invite the winds of change into your life now. And this could be a powerful new beginning in the realm of your home life, which is lovely, right? Now, the new moon is the sun and the moon together. They're both at 4 degrees, and at 5 degrees you've got Chiron. So Chiron's here as well. This is our baggage, this is our wounds, it's the stuff that we carry with us. And this could be highlighting what your wounds are around your family, around the people that you grew up with, around the place that you live in. This could really, you know, and it could be quite a tender sort of point. So just consider that and be kind to yourself, but also kind to your family members as well at this time. This tight conjunction is squaring the nodes of the moon in Cancer, which is activating your partnerships and collaborations. This could see you wanting to welcome in a new sense of connection with a partner, which is lovely, but it might come through some frank discussion about how you really feel. So you could be having some conversations with your partner that lead to some real amazing growth, but that might have to come through having some really harsh conversations, you know, and not shying away from that is the way that you'll get the best out of it. Squaring the south node in your 1st house, this could really see you ready to let go of some old hurts or wounds, and it could see you really proactive about releasing what has only served to hold you back or hinder you in some way. This could also see you getting serious about caring for yourself, your body and your health, and finding home within yourself, right? The new moon is the home, right? But the ultimate home that we all have, that we will all only ever have, is this. And as long as we can be at home in ourselves, in our own body, that is what counts, right? So whatever it is that it takes for you to be that, find it. Venus trine the big boys in your 1st house and 5th. This could really see you starting to get proactive again about looking at your health, creating more time for leisure and pleasure. Venus is giving you plenty of opportunities to do this, and also to find ways of enjoying yourself, maybe with your children. This does seem like it's coming up for a lot of you. It may be that something is happening overseas in regards to a child, or maybe some sort of travel is coming up with a child. It does look like they're starting to forge their own path, right? And for some of it, you're going to have to just accept that you're not in control. It doesn't matter whether they're your child or not. You don't own them. They are their own person. So just consider that and find ways to work with them in the vernacular of the general direction that you would like them to go. All right? Not easy, but will definitely be worth it. And like I said, you know, even if you've done an amazing job for the last 15 years, you could undo all of that by coming across as a tyrant or a bully, or, you know, just callous about what it is that they want or feel is right for them. And, you know, just recently I saw an interview. Well, I didn't really watch it. I was just flicking through stuff, and I saw a moment where Billie Eilish, Billie Eilish was she was giving a thank you speech for one of her awards, and she said, you know, even though I'm only 17, 18. She said, one thing that I just want to say to a lot of because there's a lot of moguls in here, or producers or whatever, you know, label owners. And she said, listen to your artists. Sometimes their ideas might not necessarily be good ones, but if they have somebody to hear them out, it might be enough. And I'll say this to you, for those of you that have children, listen to what they're asking you for. Right, really pay attention to that stuff this month, because it could alleviate a lot of hassle and a lot of issues that you have later down, you know. And like I said, I just get this sense that some of you, you know, through fear of wanting to do the right thing for them or to keep them safe, you might go overboard and they'll just be like, fuck this, you know what, and they'll rebel, especially if they're at that age, you know, we call it the window between 14 and sort of 17, or, you know, it doesn't matter how good you've done up until that point, that's the window where it can all sort of go, you know, awry. So your actions and path ahead. This month you have the 10 of Swords, right? So this is a big ending. There is a big completion, ending, culmination taking place for you. And I don't feel like this has anything to do with the full moon. I actually feel like this is something in your life. And the fact that it comes with the actions and the path ahead, this is about an action, or rather an ending or a completion that you are initiating. This is a moment where you finally get to a space in your life where you say, you know what, this thing, this connection, this bond, this way of being or things happening has gone far enough and I am no longer here for it. This is about you really choosing to no longer continue with something and actually to bring it to an end. It may very well be a dramatic culmination. 10 of Swords can sometimes be, you know, as an argument, your 10 of Swords would be one of those, you know, where everybody just lets rip and it's like, whew, okay, that was a frequent for my family, so I'm used to it, but I don't have it in my adult life. I refuse to. So this is my point, right? It could be something like that comes up for you as well. Fourth house, right? You could say, right, okay, I know this needs to end, but I'm not doing it the way that I saw it done. Consider that this month. Your money and materials, you've got the 7 of Swords right next to the 10 of Swords. These are, I mean, I prefer the 10 of Swords over the 7, but these two together, it looks like somebody's running away with the money. I've got to be honest with you, whether you're partnered, whether you're single, this is a month for you to really stay on the ball when it comes to your finances, keep your wallet close. When it comes to money, materials or anything like that, this is not the month for you to make big sort of decisions. No signing on the dotted line. And usually I say to people, you know, if you can hold off, then fine. But if you know, if you have to, then just go ahead, you know, because we do have the Mercury retrograde to consider. But with the 10 of Swords and the 7 of Swords in close proximity like this, I'm not telling you what you should do. What I'm telling you is the energy is not there for it. If you sign a contract this month, if you put your name on the dotted line in some way, shape or form, if you choose to assume responsibility, or, you know, somebody asks you to be a guarantor or anything like that, the chances are with this combination of cards, it will end very badly. And at some point you're going to think to yourself, I really fucking wish I hadn't. This month, I have to tell you, Capricorn, no big purchases. Anything that's going to see you, you know, anything over a month is, as far as I'm concerned, a big purchase. If it's you buy something and you have to pay for it at the end of the month and it's sort of under 200 quid, $200, whatever, fine. Anything outside of that remit in terms of time or large amounts of money, it's an absolute no. Please do not do it, because you will be setting yourself up for a big fall. Under this, I hate the 7 of Swords because it's lies, it's deceit. And the energy just isn't there for it, especially with a Mercury retrograde and these two cards together. Please just this month be on top of, I mean, you guys are really good with this stuff anyway, you know, budgeting, finance, all that, but this month just even more so. All right. Communications and conversations, you have the 9 of Cups. So this is great. Your 9 of Cups is actually alleviating some of this 7 of Swords. So you might catch this. It might be something that you see and maybe somebody tries to overcharge you. Maybe you know, you don't get what it is that you paid for, or, you know, but you'll spot it in advance, right? Maybe, just maybe, this 9 of Cups in your communications is this reading coming through to tell you not to go for something, not to sign up for something that could possibly at a later really not be something, you know, just not be what it presented as. In terms of your communications this month, they are blessed, right? This is about some really good news coming your way. It is about some form of a wish fulfillment. When it comes to your communications as well, this is the month to ask for what you need. if there's anything that you need, if there's anything that you want assistance with, if there's something that you want somebody to give you, this is a great month for you to ask for it, because that kind of support is very much here. All right, for your heart and half, your personal relationships, you've got the Knight of Cups. This is gorgeous, right? As long as you're not mixing money and pleasure, or money and partners, or business and pleasure, for those of you that are single, this looks like a great energy. Your Knight of Cups is an offer, it's a declaration. This is about somebody that is interested in you, maybe somebody that wants to date you, maybe somebody that wants to court you, who knows, right? It looks really, really nice, and it looks like it's a very harmonious energy. Mercury will be out of retrograde and fully direct and out of shadow come the 29th of March. So for now, keep it fun, keep it lighthearted, keep it above board. For those of you that are partnered, this looks like your relationship, your personal relationship is quite strong. There will be offers and opportunities for you guys to talk about the stuff that you're going through. Maybe some challenging conversations will be had, but these are opportunities for growth. It's not stuff that's going to break you apart. It's an opportunity to really cement or solidify the relationship that you have. And if you use it in that way, you could really be doing yourself and your partner and your relationship a massive boon. So your first week of the month, you've got the Emperor, right underneath the Ten of Swords. There is a big blowout coming, possibly one that sees police called. Sorry to say it, guys. I mean, you guys know me by now. I hate to have to deliver these messages to people, but when they come up, they come up. The Emperor can be, police officers, medical professionals. For a select few of you, Ten of Swords and the Emperor, you could be going to see a chiropractor. Just on a really basic sort of practical, everyday, mundane level, it could just be that literal. For others of you, it does look like some sort of a legal matter may come up that may need to be dealt with. It does look like this will probably go to either some sort of court or maybe even have, the police called in some respect. Sorry to be, I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm just saying there is a few bits here that you really do need to be conscious of. So your second week of the month, you've got the High Priestess with the Seven of Swords. So whatever or whoever this is that is trying to pull the wool over your eyes when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, when it comes to something that they have or haven't been doing, the High Priestess always brings hidden things to light. She always has things revealed. So whatever or whoever this is, trust me, you will get to see it. And when you do, I have to say this because it is the Ten of Swords and the Seven of Swords, you may be very surprised at who it is or where it comes from. And if that is the case, keep hold of yourself while you deal with it. That's what I will say to you. But whatever or whoever it is, it will be revealed this month and you'll be very, very surprised. Well, not very, very surprised, but you might just be maybe even just disappointed at where it kind of goes or where it comes from. But just be just now that you know all of this, you know what to expect. So when it hits, you can just be like, right, okay, cool. How do I deal with this now? Your third week of the month, you've got the Empress card right underneath the Nine of Cups. You're definitely hearing about a birth or a pregnancy this month. Possibly here in this third week of the month, somebody could be saying to you, we're pregnant, we're having a second child, we're having a third child maybe. This is a gorgeous energy, really, really nice. It bodes very well for good news for you, maybe about your career, maybe about a move that you've wanted to set into motion, maybe about your actual physical home. This is a really gorgeous energy and communications look very nice for this month, even with this stuff going on. So it's nice because it kind of feels like the universe is offering an arm of protection, so to speak. In your fourth week of the month, you've got the Chariot card. This is you and your partner are really, whatever you go through, it just makes you stronger. Whatever you face, it just brings you closer together. Whatever happens to one of you is great for both of you. Whatever happens for the other is great for both of you. There's this real sense of connection and tightness when it comes to the relationship. For those of you that are partnered, It looks like single even. It looks like you're meeting somebody on your travels. This could be on a commute. It could be going abroad. It just looks like a really fun time to be had. It looks like you're connecting with somebody that really does seem to like you. And you know what I will say to you is, with the Chariot card, they probably have many other options, but they're choosing you. It's like, out of everybody that there could be, it's you that they favor above all else, which is lovely. All right, so your key to the month is the Star card. No matter how troublesome or challenging this stuff is, there is a lot of hope here. Whenever you see the Chariot card, the Star card, this is hope, it's optimism, it's that understanding that no matter what the current circumstances or challenges, there is always a way out and there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how challenging sort of a couple of the aspects of your life are this month, there is hope for optimism, for fun, for joy, and also for wishes to be fulfilled. Look, the Star card falls with the Nine of Cups. This is some sort of long-held dream, some sort of long-held wish. Maybe you're hearing that something is being gifted to you, something's being granted to you. This bodes very, very well for you. And your key to the month is to really know who your tribe are, who your people are, who are the people that have always stood by you, who are the people that have always had your back, who are the people that may have messed up, but always have your best interests at heart. Who are the people that, do you know what I mean? Like, you'll get it. You'll just know. When you look around and you start to scrutinize everybody, you'll know who's always been for you and you'll know who's not always been for you. And that will be it. And as for everything else, Lady High Priestess, she'll be bringing it all to light. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.